In the quiet village of Umuchokoro, nothing ever truly stayed quiet. The goats argued with the hens quarreled with the children, and the children disturbed everybody else. But the loudest noise always came from one man, Baba Jekwu, the self-appointed great spiritual contractor, native doctor of the new generation, and chief executive officer of Thunder and Back to Sender Enterprises. People said Baba Jekwu could talk faster than a radio announcer and lie smoother than palm oil on hot yam. His small shrine sat behind his mud house, decorated with red cloth, broken bottles, and an empty packet of Indomie that he swore was a sacred charm from India. Every morning, he would beat his chest, raise a cock feather, and shout, "Any evil arrow flying this morning, crash land before he reaches me." Then he'd sneeze loudly, wipe his nose with his wrapper, and whisper, "It is done." Nobody really feared him. They mostly laughed, but they also avoided offending him, just in case his juju actually worked once in a while by mistake. Baba Jekwu's greatest enemy in life was Mama Agnes, his next-door neighbor, a retired pepper seller whose voice could scatter a microphone. The two of them had been quarreling since the reign of the late village head, Chief Okore the Stubborn. Their fight began over a boundary line between their cassava farms and had since graduated to full-time spiritual warfare. One bright morning, after the village crier announced that the meeting of elders would hold that weekend to discuss who would be chosen as the new market chairman, Baba Jekwu's blood began to boil. He wanted that position, not because he loved the market, but because the chairman always sat on a carved wooden chair under a big umbrella while others sweated in the sun. And every Friday, the chairman collected a small maintenance fee from the traders. In Baba Jekwu's mind, that fee was already his tithe to himself. But Mama Agnes had other plans. She told anyone who cared to listen that if Baba Jekwu became chairman, even the flies in the market would pay gate fee. The villagers laughed. Baba Jekwu fumed. That night, he sat cross-legged before his small shrine, fanning the kerosene lamp that was struggling for oxygen. The air smelt of burnt palm kernel oil and frustration. "Ancestors of my father's lineage, you people are seeing what this woman is doing to me. She wants to block my destiny. She wants to collect my market chairman position. I can't allow it. Send her confusion. Send her madness. No, wait, don't send madness. If she goes mad, they will say I did it. Send that warning stomach. Yes, heavy one. One that will make her dance zanku to the toilet." He took a dry goat skull from the corner, drew some chalk lines on the floor, and muttered a string of words that sounded like "shokola kabangashe." Then he poured palm wine into a small calabash and drank half himself to test the power. He rubbed powder on his face, picked a pigeon, whispered instructions into its ear, and threw it into the air, shouting, "Go, find Mama Agnes and deliver the thunder of discomfort." The pigeon flapped its wings, went up, then turned sharply and landed on the roof of Baba Jekwu's own house. What are you doing? Go now," he shouted. The bird looked at him, cooed twice, and promptly dropped white poop on the roof. Baba Jekwu gasped. This is not part of the ritual." He tried again. This time, he used his special mirror from Cameroon, actually a broken motorcycle mirror he bought in the market. He sprinkled gin on it and chanted, "Mirror, mirror, show me Mama Agnes suffering small, small." Instead, the reflection showed him his own face and a mosquito landing neatly on his bald head. He slapped himself by mistake. These spirits are playing rough play tonight. But Baba Jekwu was not a man who gave up easily. The next evening, he decided to make the juju stronger. He wore a red wrapper, tied a small belt to his ankle, and started dancing around the shrine. The village children hid behind the fence, watching and giggling. He raised his hands and screamed, "I send this charm to fly straight to Mama Agnes's house like express bus." He threw a small calabash into the air. It burst open with a puff of red powder that went straight into his eyes. He staggered, sneezed, coughed, and shouted, "Who mixed pepper inside my sacrifice?" That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept hearing mysterious footsteps in his backyard. He told himself it was the ancestors coming to congratulate him in advance. But by morning, the congratulation had turned to confusion. His rooster, the same one he used for sacrifice, was missing. And outside his door was a small clay pot smoking all by itself. He bent to inspect it, muttering, "Ah, the juju spirit must have dropped message." Before he could touch it, the pot sneezed. Yes, sneezed. Baba Jekwu screamed and jumped back. The pot rolled twice and stopped. Then a small voice came out of it. "Baba Jekwu, control your juju before juju controls you." He fainted. When he woke up, he found himself lying on the ground, with half the village gathered around laughing. Somebody had filmed the entire drama and sent it to the village WhatsApp group. The caption read, "Baba Jekwu testing his product on himself." He became an overnight celebrity. Even children started greeting him, "Daddy back to sender." Baba Jekwu was embarrassed but refused to give up. "They think they can laugh at me? Let me show them pepper. If first juju miss target, second one will not miss." He decided to go big this time. He would make a charm so powerful it could find anyone anywhere, even if they were hiding inside fridge. He traveled to the neighboring village of Obogoro to meet an old friend, Chief Mbang, a retired herbalist known for his half-successful experiments. Chief Mbang welcomed him with kola nut and suspicion. "Jekwu, what brings you to my site? Last time you came, my goat refused to eat for 3 days." Baba Jekwu grinned. "My brother, it's small business. I need a juju that never misses, one that follows target till it catches them." Chief Mbang scratched his beard and said, "That one is costly. You will buy 1 red goat, 7 alligator peppers, and 10 tubers of yam. And you must swear that you will not test it on yourself." "I swear," said Baba Jekwu quickly. They mixed things, pounded things, tied leaves, and poured gin until even the ancestors must have been dizzy from the smell. At last, Chief Mbang handed him a small gourd with a red string around its neck. He said solemnly, "This charm will find your enemy. But remember, whatever name you call when you open it, that is who it will attack. Don't make mistake." Baba Jekwu nodded like a student taking an oath. "No mistake. This time, Mama Agnes is finished." He hurried home, locked himself in his room, and whispered, "I will open this juju at exactly midnight when her spirit will be sleeping without firewall." When midnight came, he lit a candle, sat cross-legged, and carefully untied the red string. "Spiritual courier, deliver message to..." Just then, his wife, Mama Jekwu, knocked loudly on the door. "Jekwu, wake up! Rat has entered the kitchen." He jumped, startled. "Ah, woman, you will spoil my mission." He forgot where he stopped, panicked, and shouted, "You, this rat, I command you, go and scatter everything for Mama Agnes." The god hissed and burst into smoke. 2 minutes later, there was commotion in his kitchen. Plates breaking, oil spilling, pots flying. The rat obeyed. But unfortunately, it didn't travel to Mama Agnes's house. It was still in Baba Jekwu's kitchen, turning the place upside down with supernatural energy. Mama Jekwu screamed, "Ah, Jekwu, your juju has possessed the rat." Baba Jekwu ran inside, slipped on palm oil, and landed flat on his back. The rat, now glowing faintly red, ran across his stomach and disappeared into his trousers. That was the longest night of his life. By morning, the news had spread again. Somebody had recorded his midnight shouting through the window, "Rat, come out! I command you in the name of thunder and back to sender enterprises." The sun rose over Umuchokoro with gossip already cooking hotter than the morning pap. Everywhere Baba Jekwu passed, people greeted him with straight faces that collapsed into laughter the moment he turned his back. Even goats seemed to grin when they saw him. Old Papa Onyema, the palm wine tapper, shouted from a distance, "Baba Jekwu, how market? Did the rat pay rent before it entered your trousers?" The whole street exploded with laughter.
Baba Jekwu held his wrapper tight and hissed, "Laugh now, all of you. When I release my version 2 juju, you will beg me to collect your laughter back." That afternoon, he stormed into his shrine again, limping slightly because of the previous night's fall. He cleaned the floor, arranged his bottles of sacred gin, which smelled suspiciously like cheap ogogoro, and placed a new calabash in the center. This time, he said aloud, "I will build juju that uses GPS, godly positioning spirit. It will never miss target again." He pounded bitter cola, ground pepper, added a dash of kerosene for speed, and tied everything in a red handkerchief. Then, he drew a rough map of the village on the floor with chalk and put a stone where Mama Agnes's house should be. He chanted, "Spirit, see the map. From my house, go straight, past palm tree, turn left by Mama Kori's shop, then stop at Mama Agnes's door. No diversion." He lifted the handkerchief like a drone pilot and said, "Now, go." The thing flew. Yes, actually flew, like a small bird. Baba Jekwu's eyes widened in victory. "Ah, my power is back." But after flying across the compound, the charm made a sharp U-turn, zipped straight into his bedroom window, and landed inside his own wardrobe. A huge poof followed, covering all his clothes in red dust.
When he opened the wardrobe, every piece of cloth had shrunk to half size. Even his agbada now looked like a baby's bib. He wailed, "My Sunday agbada, my destiny uniform." By evening, the entire village knew that Baba Jekwu's juju now does laundry too. He couldn't step outside for 2 days. His wife, Mama Jekwu, mocked him mercilessly. "All these your home delivery champs, can't you just use broom and sweep sense into yourself?" But Baba Jekwu was stubborn. He told her, "A lion never quits because goats are laughing." On the third night, he went again to Chifumbang in the next village. The old herbalist rubbed his eyes when he saw him. "Ah, Jekwu, you again? What happened to the last juju?" Baba Jekwu sighed. It suffered navigation error. Chifumbang almost choked on his kola nut. "You mean, it came back home?" "Worse, it ironed my clothes with thunder." The old man shook his head. "This is why I retired. Young herbalists like you are mixing too much technology with tradition." But after much pleading and the promise of 2 bottles of gin, Chifumbang agreed to help one last time. He prepared something that looked like a small coconut wrapped in leaves and said, "This is the final version. Juju Pro Max, it never misses target, but it has small attitude. Be polite to it." Baba Jekwu bowed 3 times. "Thank you, senior prophet of powder and leaf." He hurried home like a man carrying national treasure. That night, while everyone slept, he placed the coconut juju on the floor, lit 3 candles, and spoke gently. "My dear Juju, this is your only assignment. Go straight to Mama Agnes. No shortcut, no network problem. If she's eating, confuse her. If she's sleeping, make her dream of me collecting my chairman seat. After that, return quietly." He tapped the juju twice. It hummed softly like a beehive. Then it rolled away by itself, slipped under the door, and disappeared into the night. Baba Jekwu smiled proudly. "Ah, success has started though." He poured himself a celebratory shot of gin and fell asleep on the mat. At exactly 3 a.m., a loud banging rattled his door. "Pom, pom, pom." He jumped up. "Who be that? Spirit, is it you returning with testimony?" A small voice answered outside. "Open the door, Joe. Na me your Juju." Baba Jekwu froze. "Ah, Juju, why you dey knock door like human being?" "Because you locked me outside, foolish man, and dog chased me half of the way." He opened the door trembling. There it was, the coconut Juju, rolling in angrily, smoking slightly. "Mission accomplished?" he asked weakly. "Mission disturbed," it barked. "Your target went for all-night prayer meeting. I nearly got sprinkled with holy water. Next time, give better timing." Baba Jekwu scratched his head. "So, you mean you did not catch her?" The Juju gave a dramatic sigh. "I will try again tomorrow, but you must feed me first. I'm hungry." Baba Jekwu looked confused. "Feed you? What do spirits even eat?" The Juju sniffed. "Rice and stew will do for a start." That was how Baba Jekwu found himself serving hot rice to a talking coconut at midnight. When Mama Jekwu woke up and saw the scene, she screamed, "Blood of Elijah! My husband is now catering for demons." The Juju, irritated,
rolled towards her and said, "Madam, mind your business before I collect your wrapper as napkin." She ran out of the room shouting, "Village people have finished me!" By morning, Baba Jekwu decided that maybe polite conversation with Juju was not such a good idea. He hid the coconut inside an old paint bucket and buried it behind the house. Let it rest there till I figure out plan B. But Juju had its own mind. That afternoon, school children playing football outside accidentally kicked their ball onto the buried spot. The moment the ball touched the ground, a deep boom echoed and the coconut burst out like a rocket. The children screamed and ran. One of them dropped his phone, still recording. The video hit the village WhatsApp group again with the caption, "Breaking news! Baba Jekwu's Juju escapes from prison." Even the village head watched it and commented with a laughing emoji. Baba Jekwu's humiliation was now national. Traders composed songs about it. When Baba Jekwu cook him charm, he go turn back, he go cause alarm. Juju wey sabi reverse gear, na only Jekwu fit tire am. He locked himself indoors for 3 more days, refusing to come out, but trouble still came knocking. On the 4th night, strange noises filled his house again, banging on pots, footsteps on the roof, whispers calling his name. He tried to cover his ears, but the voices grew louder. Then a familiar small voice said right beside him, "Long time no see, boss." He opened his eyes. The coconut Juju was sitting comfortably on his pillow. He screamed and rolled off the bed. "Ha! I buried you! Yes, and thank you. The soil was refreshing, but now I've decided to move in permanently." "Move in where?" "Here, your house has better ventilation." He clutched his chest. "Juju, please let us negotiate. I will increase your feeding allowance." But the Juju wasn't listening. It floated up, spinning slowly, its voice echoing. "From today, we are partners. Whatever nonsense you plan for others, we return here first for testing. No more missed targets." The lights flickered. Bottles in the shrine clinked by themselves. A thunderclap shook the roof, though there was no rain outside. Baba Jekwu crawled under his bed. "I cancel partnership. I resigned." The Juju laughed wickedly. "Too late. Contract signed in gin and ego." That night, the entire village heard strange music from Baba Jekwu's compound. Drums beating by themselves, chickens crowing backwards, and one terrified man shouting, "Forgive me," every few minutes. By the next morning, Umuchokoro village was no longer peaceful. Roosters refused to crow, hens refused to lay eggs, and people swore they could hear drum beats coming from Baba Jekwu's compound, even at sunrise. Children tiptoed past his fence whispering, "That's the house where Juju sleeps on pillow." The story had already reached 3 neighboring villages, and even the council of elders could no longer pretend nothing was happening. Elder Ofor, the oldest man in the land, called for an emergency meeting under the big mango tree. He cleared his throat and said, "My people, before this our village turns into Nollywood, we must ask, is it true that one man's charm is now doing house rent in his room?" Everyone nodded vigorously. Mama Agnes shouted, "Let him pack and go with his juju before thunder uses our market as testing ground." The elders agreed that they must visit Baba Jekwu that evening. They formed a delegation of 6 elders, 2 drummers for courage, and 1 young man to carry a Bible just in case. Inside his house, Baba Jekwu had not slept. Every time he closed his eyes, the juju hummed softly beside him, sometimes singing old highlight songs out of tune. "Can you please stop?" he begged. The juju answered, "But you said we are partners. Partners must enjoy music together." He started spinning again, scattering powder everywhere until Baba Jekwu looked like a white masquerade. He sneezed repeatedly. "If I survive this one, I will open a church." At that exact moment, came a knock on his door. "Baba Jekwu, it is the elders." He hid the juju under a basket and hurried to open the door, forcing a smile. "Ah, my fathers, you are welcome. What brings honorable elders to my humble—" Before he could finish, the basket began to shake violently. A low voice from inside muttered, "You forgot to give me breakfast." The elders froze. Elder Ofor crossed himself with palm wine instead of holy water. What was that voice? Baba Jekwu laughed nervously. That is my radio. The battery has small spirit inside." The basket jumped again and rolled across the floor. "Radio indeed. Bring me jollof rice before I scatter your visitors." The elders ran outside shouting, "Blood of our ancestors!" Baba Jekwu tried to catch the basket, but it flew open. Out came the coconut juju, spinning and glowing like a disco bulb. "Welcome, elders. Any contribution to my feeding program?" The drummers dropped their drums and fled. One even climbed a palm tree without rope. The young man with the Bible fainted halfway through shouting, "Holy Ghost fire!" By evening, the story had grown wings. Some said the juju had turned Baba Jekwu's radio into parrot. Others swore it was demanding to contest for the chairman's seat itself. The village head called another meeting. From today, he announced, no one must cook charm within 200 meters of Baba Jekwu's compound. His compound is hereby declared spiritual quarantine zone. The whole crowd cheered. Somebody brought roasted corn. It became a mini festival of gossip. Meanwhile, Baba Jekwu sat alone, weeping into his palm wine. Is this how a great man becomes village comedy? The juju, perched on the table, said matter-of-factly, "You should have read the fine print." 3 days later, the juju decided it was time to expand operations. It started granting people's wishes randomly around the village, but always in the worst possible way. When Mama Agnes prayed, "God, let rain fall on my farm," the juju made rain fall inside her sitting room instead. When Papa Wenyama wished for his palm wine keg to be full, the keg overflowed until his goats got drunk. Even the chief's radio began broadcasting only Baba Jekwu's voice snoring. The chaos was too much. The village demanded action. Elder Ofo said, "We must perform a cleansing ceremony. We will tie Baba Jekwu and the juju together and throw them into the river. Whoever floats first belongs to the spirits." Baba Jekwu shouted, "You want to baptize me by fire? I'm not the one possessing, it's the juju." But nobody listened. They dragged him to the riverside at dawn. The juju rolled behind them voluntarily, humming war songs. At the river bank, the chief priest raised the staff. "Spirits of Umuchokoro, we are returning this confused charm to sender." The juju laughed so loudly that even fishes dived deeper. "You people want to deport me? No wahala. But first, let me say goodbye to my master." Before anyone could move, it spun 3 times, released a small flash, and boom, disappeared. For a glorious second, everyone thought it had gone. Then, Baba Jekwu's stomach rumbled. He clutched his belly. Something is moving inside me." The juju's voice echoed faintly from his tummy. "I told you, we are partners forever." The entire crowd scattered in all directions. Some fell into the river, some into bushes. Baba Jekwu rolled on the sand screaming, "Somebody bring spoon, remove it." For 2 weeks after that incident, he became the calmest man in the village. He stopped boasting, stopped quarreling, even stopped drinking gin. Whenever someone asked about the juju, he smiled weakly and tapped his belly. It is on sabbatical. But the trouble wasn't over yet.
One Sunday morning, during church service, as the pastor raised the microphone to preach, a familiar small voice came from Baba Jekwu's stomach. "Pastor, please reduce volume, oh. My landlord is fasting." The whole congregation screamed and ran out. The pastor dropped his Bible and jumped through the window. Baba Jekwu fainted again. When he woke up, he was lying under the mango tree, surrounded by curious villagers holding phones. The video of talking Belly Deliverance went viral that same day. Finally, out of shame and exhaustion, Baba Jekwu packed a small bag and went to the mountain where old herbalists go for retirement. He spent 40 days there, eating only unripe plantain and apologizing to every spirit he could name. On the last day, thunder rumbled softly, and a gentle voice from the sky said, "Lesson learned?" He nodded quickly. "From today, use your mouth for good advice, not bad contracts." Then he felt something leave his stomach with a sigh of relief. The juju was gone at last. He returned to Umuchokoro a changed man. He opened a small herbal tea shop called Back to Sender Cafe, where he sold only harmless roots for malaria and stomach pain. Anytime people teased him, he just smiled and said, "At least I still have my teeth. The juju couldn't bite that one." And whenever thunder rolled across the sky, he would raise his cup of tea and whisper, "But now, I hope you are doing fine wherever you are." Please let us know where you are watching from. Leave a comment below. We love to hear from you. Please like the video and share with your family and friends.
Please also click the subscribe button so we can bring more videos to you. Thanks for being part of us.